Dungeons & Dragons is infamous for its powerful third level spells. Once a spellcaster hits level 5, they have a difficult decision to make with what third level spell they want to put into their spellbook. And while it might seem as simple as third level spell equals fireball, there's a lot more to it than just that. To quantify the difficulty here, there are over 75 third level spells in 5th edition for you to choose from, which makes this decision surprisingly difficult. But don't worry, because I'm here to make your job easier. So here are the top 5 must-have third level spells for D&D 5th edition. Since there are so many third level spells with albeit similar uses, I decided to break this list down into categories. These categories will be damage, healing, utility, buff, and debuff spells. Fireball and Call Lightning would be examples of damage, while Dispel Magic and Counterspell would be qualified as utility. So with that clarification out of the way, let's talk about the one category the majority of players are familiar with: damage. It's no secret that D&D 5th edition has a bunch of super powerful damaging spells, specifically at 3rd level. Between Fireball, Lightning Bolt, Call Lightning, and more, there are so many fantastic options for you here. However, my must-have pick for the damage category is none of those, and it in fact Melp's Minute Meteors. This spell creates 6 mini meteors that you can send towards a location you can see within 120 feet that explode on impact. Each meteor effectively acts like a mini fireball, forcing a dexterity saving throw amongst all creatures within 5 feet and dealing 2d6 damage on a failed save or half as much on a successful one. Now some of you might be asking, why would I choose 6 mini fireballs when I could have one big fireball? Well, the answer to that is actually hidden in the action economy of how the spell works. This spell initially costs an action to cast, but it is concentration, and on your subsequent turns after that, you can use your bonus action to activate the meteors. This means you would still have your main action to do something like a regular fireball, and then use your bonus action to send 2 more mini fireballs at 1 or 2 different targets. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention you can technically send 2 meteors per bonus action. That means you could technically deal up to 4d6 damage with each of your bonus actions. If you can hit 2 creatures with one of these meteors, you instantly double its effectiveness. And that is all just using your bonus action, which in my opinion is one of the most powerful things you can do in 5th edition. But if you want to just consider flat numbers, this spell can technically deal up to 12d6 damage, which is 4 more d6 than a 3rd level fireball. So considering that, I don't think it's too hard to understand why I think Melp's Minute Meteors is a must-have spell. But now let's talk about the exact opposite of the damaging spells with the healing category. The 3rd level bracket has some awesome healing spells like Beacon of Hope and Mass Healing Word, but the only must-have healing spell that I think is in there is actually Aura of Vitality. You cast this spell as an action, and while concentrating on the spell, you can use your bonus action to heal a creature within 30 feet of you for 2d6. This spell, just like Minute Meteors, is a concentration spell for up to a minute, which means you can technically get up to 10 bonus actions to heal an ally 2d6. And in case you struggle with basic math like I do, I've already done the math for you. Well, I did the math in a calculator, but you know what I mean. This spell totals 20d6 worth of healing over the course of 10 rounds. And thanks to my friends over at J&J Tabletop for teaching me how dice averages work, I know that 20d6 of healing averages out to about 70 healing overall. That means Aura of Vitality averages the same amount of healing as the 6th level spell Heal. And arguably, Aura of Vitality is more powerful or more versatile because you have the freedom to use it when you need it, which is much more handy than just a one and done 70 hit point heal. So for those reasons, Aura of Vitality isn't just the 3rd level healing spell, it's arguably the healing spell in all of 5th edition. Now, with those 2 spells behind us, we have done a lot of talking about the efficient use of a bonus action, which sounds very min-maxy of me, and I'm not generally that kind of person, but I do think that it's now time to move into the min-maxer's favorite wheelhouse of spells with utility spells. There are so many good 3rd level utility spells out there, and even as I record this and I'm reading off the script, I'm doubting my choice. Spells like Mirror Image, Dispel Magic, Sending, and many more, but I really think that there is only one spell that you ever 100% need to always take, and that would be Counterspell. Yes, I know it's not super exciting, but Counterspell is useful in all levels of play, and I couldn't make a must-have 3rd level spell video without it in it. You interrupt a creature in the process of casting a spell and attempt to prevent them from casting that spell. If they're casting a 3rd level spell or lower, it's automatically interrupted. But if they're casting a 4th level or higher, depending upon your spell slot for your counterspell you're using, then you roll an ability check using your spellcasting ability modifier against an increasingly difficult DC based on the level of the spell that creature is casting. Holy snot, you will not understand how long that took me to get. If you've ever played D&D 5th edition before, you probably know why this spell is a must-have. Being able to just say, yeah, nah, to an enemy casting a spell is so powerful. You could technically stop the cast of a 9th level spell with a 3rd level spell slot if you roll well enough. And I don't know about you, but being able to just stop a meteor swarm from hitting your entire party sounds pretty worth it to me. Honestly, what else is there for me to say other than every D&D party needs at least one player with Counterspell? And like that, we move on to the buff spells. Just like every other category we talked about, there are a bunch of amazing 3rd level buff style spells. This includes spells like Beacon of Hope and Haste, but I think I have to give this one to the aptly named Fly. You touch a creature and they gain a 60-foot fly speed. That's it. That's the spell. It sounds super simple, but the implications of flight in D&D 5th edition are immense. You can fly in the air just out of range of melee combatants, move along the battlefield with ease, or completely circumvent any ground-based obstacles. But the thing that a lot of people don't realize about the fly spell is that it doesn't just grant a fly speed, it gives you a fly speed of 60 feet. Now, aside from a few classes or races, the average move speed of a character in 5th edition is about 30 feet. So fly doesn't just allow a character to fly, but it also effectively doubles their movement speed, which can make even the most immobile characters hypermobile. So if you want to gain a new perspective on the battlefield, make sure you go ahead and copy fly into your spellbook. And finally, we round out today's video with the debuff style spells. There are some great debuff style spells here like Fear, Spirit Shroud, Bestow Curse, but honestly, I had to go with a personal favorite spell of mine, the classic Plant Growth. You cause plants within a 100-foot radius to become overgrown and restrict movement. For every 1 foot move through the area, it costs 4 feet of movement speed. For a creature with 40 movement speed, it would take their entire movement to just move 10 feet. But the wording is very important here because it specifically states 1 foot costs 4 foot. Since it doesn't state that this is difficult terrain, you could theoretically stack this on top of other abilities that restrict movement speed. But the other huge factor here is that a 100-foot radius area is a 200-foot diameter circle space. That is an absolutely massive size which can be visualized as the length of a full-size hockey rink. For those two reasons alone, it's really not hard to figure out why Plant Growth is my go-to for my must-have 3rd level debuff spell. So if you have some time or you need a new spell to fill out your spellbook, take a look at Plant Growth because it's arguably one of the best lockdown spells in the entire game. But that's my list of must-have 3rd level spells for D&D 5th edition. I know my list might look a little bit different than yours, so let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you liked the video, I would really appreciate it if you liked and subscribed, and let me know what you thought. I post weekly videos like this every Monday, but in the meantime, I've posted a playlist down below for you to check out if you want to check out more videos. But as always, thank you very much for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you on Friday.